Want to know everything that's happened in Universal Studios Orlando this week, including VelociCoaster leak requirements and other important information about the ride, plus more? Well, you're in the right place, for you're watching Woo-Noo, your weekly Universal news and updates, where I go over everything that's happened each week in edits like these. But let's not meander on for an intro and get straight into the information with my first topic. General news, where a lot has actually happened from the VelociCoaster. So, starting us off, an article on the VelociCoaster was published, and it gives us some details on the story of the ride. Now, it says, this all-new species of roller coaster was conceived and designed by the award-winning Universal creative team in partnership with acclaimed filmmakers from Universal Pictures and Amblin Entertainment, bringing to life a new Jurassic World story that combines the epic thrills and popular characters from the blockbuster film franchise with jaw-dropping roller coaster maneuvers. The original cast from the movies, Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas, Howard, and B.D. Wong, reprise their roles as Owen Grady, Claire Dearing, and Dr. Henry Wu in the thrilling new attraction, which sends guests on an extreme adventure through the Raptor Paddock and beyond with the film's Velociraptor pack, Blue, Charlie, Delta, and Echo. So obviously this is post-Jurassic World 1, not Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, because Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom kills off the other three raptors. Also, it gave us some more in-depth details of the story. That is just where it came from. It says here, the VelociCoaster will transport guests into a dynamic environment inspired by the Jurassic World films, surrounded by an intricately detailed rock work and lush landscaping, conveniently located near the elevated watchtower used to keep an eye on the dinosaurs. Once inside, guests are greeted by Dr. Wu as they learn about the cutting-edge new coaster, which Jurassic World is touting as its newest carnivore expansion. Along the way, they'll hear the screams of fellow riders as they rapidly roar by Blue, Delta, Charlie, and Echo right to their heels, and even come face-to-face with a few hungry velociraptors who are anxiously awaiting being released from their stables. As the adrenaline builds and guests approach the load platform, they will hear a few reassuring words from Claire Dearing and one final warning from Owen Grady. I know that is very long, but that is a bunch of very specific things about the story, which is amazing. However, there's so much to go over in this that this implies that this topic would be like an hour long. So I might make a separate video on it, I might not. Don't get too excited for it because it might not happen, but anyways, let's go on to my next update so this one doesn't last forever. So for that next update, we have another huge thing, which is that promotional photos of the VelociCoaster queue were posted, and they show us an image of the VelociCoaster statue with surrounding queue paths, and a raptor in a containment that looks a lot like from the teaser, but could also be an actual animatronic. Plus, just remember that the animatronic could be what was used originally and just looks so realistic like it does in the movies. Also, a general promotional photo for the ride was printed along with these. But that's not it for the queue, for another part of the queue was leaked by somebody on TikTok. They showed us the station building, which this looks like an InGen lab, and I think that this looks really cool. Now I know that this is not really supposed to be done, and that what they're doing is not, good for showing things when they're not supposed to. However, this just looks amazing. The queue is just mind-blowing. It also showed us more of the room with the Velociraptor statue in it, which actually has specialized themed light, which I actually think looks pretty cool. Plus, a third room is leaked, and this room is a room that we haven't heard or seen anything about. This is a room that is just a general queue room, but has multiple TVs all put together to make bigger images that have Bryce Dallas as Claire Dearing and Chris Pratt as Owen Grady giving debriefs and things to the guests. I could not make out what they were saying in this audio because it's very quiet. However, it's crazy to see something like this. Now, I would have gone off about how this confirms that the actors are there, but we saw earlier that they are. So, this is here now. So also, the VelociCoaster was added to the Universal Studios Orlando app. When clicked on, it gives us a promotion picture and the blurb, 2 intense launches, 4 inversions. It's a new species of roller coaster, the Jurassic World VelociCoaster, opening June 10th. And it also gives us some smaller details that are actually very helpful. That include that there will be no express line, but there will be a single rider line, the exact height requirement, which is 51 inches tall, that there will be a child swap, details that guests in wheelchairs need to be able to transfer to the attraction seat, and if not, to talk to an attendant, which, by the way, team members cannot help people into the seat and must be a member of your party, and that there will be an example seat at the entrance of the ride. Now, this is another huge thing, which is amazing on how much has actually happened for the VelociCoaster. However, it doesn't end there. In a bit of a less informative thing, Universal released an ad on TV that combines some digital shots with the VelociCoaster along with some clips from the Jurassic World movie. It tells us nothing new. And yes, I know that the video is in a different language, however, all that it says is Brave the Hunt, a new species of coaster, the apex predator of coaster, and opening June 10th. Sorry, I couldn't find it in any other language, I just knew it was there. Also, the VelociCoaster tested all 4 trains, minus the 5th, which is the side train, with dummies on them this week. It also did testing in the pouring rain, which, by the way, if you don't live in Florida, you wouldn't know this, but we had some of the most rain I believe that Florida has had in years a few days ago. So it's amazing to see that it actually works in rain, too. So the Bifrost Bridge was closed on Wednesday, most likely due to testing. I believe that it stayed closed, actually, and I don't have a picture of this. However, it was closed this week, and it's been open for a few weeks. I hope it'll reopen, because this is really cool. As for something smaller, green lights were lit on the new VelociCoaster lockers. A bunch of lights and stuff have been happening for these. They're lockers, they're gonna light up. Nothing huge. So, away from the VelociCoaster, Universal has decided to start making the push to get the new Brightline train station to run adjacent to International Drive so that it stops by Epic Universe. They are one of the many businesses that are putting in a stake to try to make this happen. Now, if you don't know what this is, a new train line, called a Bright Train Line, is going from the Orlando airport all around Florida, from Miami, Disney World, and now a bunch of companies are pushing for it to go to International Drive. Universal has said that they are pushing as hard as they can for this to happen because, like I said, this would be a very good promotion for Epic Universe. Something a bit smaller, the app's loading picture was changed for the Universal Orlando app. It now includes Studios Trams and Kung Fu Panda on it. Don't know why. There is no significant reason for this. Kung Fu Panda's not coming, and the trams are gone. However, they can put in what they want, and obviously they did. So on Tuesday, Ripsaw Falls had a delayed opening and was drained. Now, this isn't really anything different as rides like these go down all the time, so you just have to expect it. As for some crowds, on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, both parks hit capacity. On Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, they reopened, so each day. Now, Islands might have closed on Friday, but I'm not 100% sure. If it did, it remained closed all day. By this, I did not see any official notifications from this. However, I believe it did, so it might have, it might not have, but time has passed, so it doesn't matter a ton right now. So, because of crowds, the pathway between the parks reopened, which makes sense if it's hitting capacity 4 times a week. And also, completely away from capacity, Shrek characters now have Mardi Gras costumes. Now, this is Shrek, Fiona, and Donkey, for they're the 3 characters that you can see. And Shrek, if you actually look, his Mardi Gras beads are made out of onions, which is really creative, I must say. So as for a day in the park with Barney's, team members were seen there going in and out of the theater along with some people on the lifts. So obviously they're working to take it apart and take things in and out, which isn't a huge surprise. The attraction is close and has been for, I believe, over a month now. Time flies. Also, the Barney fountain was turned on again, but without Barney's statue on it. Now, I don't really know why they would do this if it's already closed, but whatever Universal does to make things look more pretty, they can do. Not up to me. Wow, that was a long topic, but the video's not over yet, as you can probably see from your bar below. So let's go ahead and go straight into my next topic. Construction, the original home of the VelociCoaster, though I have something else to start off this topic this week. This week, the Islands of Adventure lighthouse was being painted. Now, it has been very long since something like this has happened, or at least into my memory, and it's very interesting to see things like this being painted. Not a ton to go over here, it's just getting a fresh coat of paint, but it's really cool to see the tower in a state like this. So on to the VelociCoaster. The VelociCoaster project team took a picture inside the ride area. Now, first off, this is an extremely talented group of people, and they deserve all the respect I can give. They are behind the ride that I have been looking over for over 8 months at this point, and I cannot thank them enough for how they've made this ride, what they're doing for this ride, and just what they do, because they give me everything that I just love. They give me my hobby, they give me this chance. Now, looking at what this actually shows us, it shows us that Delta can be seen in the background along with track and some pavement that looks like emergency exit pavement. Now, I know this is nothing huge. We knew Delta was on the ride, and you can see her now, and what's on the bottom there is probably just emergency exit pavement, like I just said. However, you can definitely see that things are on the site that we haven't seen before, so yay. Also for the VelociCoaster, a coming summer 2021 sign was put next to its height requirement sign, which is really cool. I don't know why they won't put the actual date on. However, I believe that this sign was put up before it was officially released, so it would make sense that it's like this. Now also, construction was seen over the walls at the smoking area in Jurassic Park. It looks like a do-it-yourself photo op or something along those lines. It could just be a photo op, but it's most likely something along those lines. Now also this week, the Jurassic Park Discovery Center sign was painted a new bronze, and later in the week it was given some weathering painting. Now, however, this is something that is a smaller detail, but it looks pretty cool, and they've been repainting most of the Discovery Center, so it makes sense they do it to this sign too. Next to the Discovery Center, the path leading from Jurassic Park to the bypass bridge had some lighting installed on the edges. This makes sense because this bridge is probably going to be open permanently and used a lot more now that this ride is open, and it'll be fun to watch the cart going by with people having fun on it all day long. The If I Ran a Zoo play area started refurbishments. This is interesting as the book got in some trouble, but Universal is more than likely going to reopen it anyway. Now, by refurbishments, they're fixing some stuff up and they're repainting some stuff. Now, if you don't know the trouble, basically, Dr. Seuss's company decided to pull a couple of his books away for having things like racism in them, and If I Ran the Zoo was one of them. Originally, we thought that this might affect some of the stuff in Seuss Landing, however, we don't really know now because of this happening. So also, Spider-Man changed to a photo kiosk machine instead of a manned picture desk. Now, I believe this is new, it might have been done a while ago, however I can use this as a quick example to show you that manned picture desks for your pictures after rides are basically gone in all attractions now. There are all these kiosks that you see here. Finally, trays were put back in place for the fence of the Three Broomsticks patio. Nobody really knows what's happening with this patio anymore. It just keeps switching from one thing to another to another to another, and I believe it's open right now. It's just switching up a lot, but there's mini trees here now. Now, that was a bunch of stuff in the parks, however, we can see what just won't leave the parks in my next topic. Mardi Gras, where I only have one big update that I pushed pretty far into the video because it's only one update and it's quite common at this point, which is that Mardi Gras was extended to May 2nd. Now, I'm not sitting here acting like this is a bad thing. I'm super excited that this is extended till May 2nd. It means for, I believe now, 2 weeks, you can celebrate the Festival of Carnivals and eat all the food and all your way around the Universal Studios Orlando Park, which seems like it'll be a ton of fun. Now, Mardi Gras is in the parks and has been for quite a while now. However, we can take a look at something that isn't in the parks and happened more behind the scenes for my next topic. Halloween Horror Nights, the topic where if you're a fan of it, you'll be happy to say with me, who cares if it's April? Let's talk about Halloween. So, this week, Halloween Horror Nights was accepting internal, which is team members, scare actor auditions. They ended on April 11th. I'm sorry that I did not get this to you, and this actually started last week, and I didn't realize that it was happening, so I'm sorry that I reported this to you a week late. However, it was happening. Now, this is for cast members, which means if you were a cast member, I believe you can still have a second chance. advance. Now, sign-ups generally happen a little bit later in the year, a lot closer to Halloween Horror Nights for the general public. So just be ready for those to come out, and don't really rely on me to tell you that those are there, because those things close within a couple of days, and I might not get to report on them until they're done, like these ones. So just keep on the lookout for that, and subscribe to the email plan for Halloween Horror Nights, because I believe they'll give you notifications on that. Okay, so sorry for talking so fast about that, and sorry for being late on my update. However, let's go ahead and talk about something that isn't in the parks at all, but instead in City Walk for my next topic. City Walk, where we have two updates that are both in the same store. So this week, a new Jaws Motorama appeared in the new Legacy store. It molds a shark sculpture of Bruce the Shark and costs $6. This is pretty fun, and I like that they're paying tribute to the Jaws. Now obviously this is the Legacy store, so it makes a lot of sense that this would be here, and I just think that it's a fun little addition that they put in the store. And I think that this is really cool, so if you want one, these are some of the cheapest souvenirs in the park besides suppressed coins, so keep that in mind. Also for the store, a Cedric Diggory Tri-Wizard Tournament banner was hung in this store. Now, this is nothing huge, it's a fun little thing that they added, and this store has a ton of other props, and this is just adding to them. But, I mean, it's all fun. I like this store a lot, and I think the concept of it is amazing. It makes Universal Studios fans super happy, and it's a cool thing to look at for people who aren't mega fans. So City Walk sells a bunch of merchandise, and though I only went over a little bit of it in this topic, we'll go over nothing but it in my next one, which you can see here in my next topic. Merchandise, which you probably found out from the fact that I told you that there's nothing but merchandise in this topic. So this week, a Popeyes I Am What I Am mask came out on an Islands Trading Co. This is a fun little mask, and if you like Popeyes, it's an accessory that I'm sure you'll love. Also, the 2021 Collector's Interactive Wand became available in the parks. This is a fun little wand, and obviously it's a collector's wand, so if you like these wands a lot, consider buying it. Plus it's interactive, which means that it works with all of the magic spots in the parks. Finally, the online store added a 2021 Collector's Interactive Wand, which is the one I just talked about, and a It's So Fluffy unicorn pillow. It also added a bunch of the new Harry Potter cups that include cups for Hogwarts and the Four Houses. Plates for the Four Houses were also added, and Dumbledore quote mugs and pillows. And if you want any of this, it's just on the Universal Studios Orlando store, which can be found on their website. That's everything that I could find in Universal Studios Orlando this week. I hope you enjoyed watching the video, as I enjoyed making it, and I like this content a lot. Now, I was thinking about it once I was thanking the VelociCoaster team so much about how much Universal actually means to me. It's, like, just amazing for me, and this entire YouTube channel wouldn't be a thing without the brand. So, as much as people state that even Disney and Universal, and I can agree with them, can be evil corporates at times, I love this company for everything that it stands for. And I'm sorry for ranting on about this in an outro, however, why not? You can talk about whatever you want in the outro. I don't even think that many people make it to the end of this video. Which reminds me, if you're here, you're a legend, thank you for watching, and I'm gonna stop ranting on and stop the video. So, this is Winu, signing off.